The Cats are in Kansas City and the Big Blue Nation is beginning to take over. Meet some of the students who provide the pep when the team hits the road. 53 years after 5 men were killed in a Letcher County crash, those who can still remember the night it happened work to honor the 5.
Clouds, rain chances, and eventually cooler weather. The details now at 6.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News at 6.
We are about 28 hours away from the Cats tipping off in the Sweet 16. Their opponent, an uncommon foe, Houston. Coach Cal and the Cats arrived in Kansas City yesterday. The lingering question is, will sophomore star P.J. Washington suit up? We got few answers from Coach Cal today. Let's get right out to Kansas City with WYMT's Will Puckett and Marcus Browning. Guys?
A few answers is an interesting term to use, Steve. And Marcus, you and I were just talking. It's really a rinse and repeat of what we saw last week in Jacksonville. It's the saga of will P.J. Washington play or will he not?
It's been another week of just wondering and waiting to see if he will take the court. Here is what we know as of now. Coach Calipari says that the doctors have cleared PJ to play, but if he does, he will experience some pain following the game. So it all depends upon PJ, what his pain tolerance might be for this injury, should we see him take the court tomorrow night. But PJ said in the locker room that he does want to play because playing in this tournament has been the focus of this team all season long.
It's been a lot. I mean, there's a lot of pressure on me. I'm not pressure, but a lot of people talking. But I mean, I really don't care about that. I just want to make sure my health is really where it needs to be, then go out there and try to help my teammates. Yeah, I mean, I definitely want to play in this tournament. This is what we've been working for all year, and just to be able to sit out was definitely hard on me. Just to see our guys winning, though, was definitely picked me up a little bit, and then see how excited everybody was. It's just kind of funny, I guess.
So, Will, once again, will P.J. Washington play has been the dominant question of this NCAA tournament for Kentucky. I guess we truly won't know until the Wildcats take the court tomorrow night.
Yeah, and Marcus, coming into Jacksonville, there was only one player on the roster who had any sort of NCAA tournament experience. That was Nick Richards with 8 minutes. Yeah. Really, it sounds like all we're going to wonder for PJ is how much can he handle the pain?
Yes, I mean, the pain tolerance is exactly that. PJ said in the locker room that he wants to play, as you all just heard it there. So it's really going to be a factor of how much can he handle should he play.
Well, while PJ and Coach Cal and the Cats were on the floor, right next door to us in the college basketball experience, the Cats' biggest cheerleaders, not the cheerleaders of the band, were inside getting a little bit of that experience after flying in yesterday.
They're college students enjoying their time as their school's basketball team makes a run at the NCAA championship.
We went to the SEC tournament, now we're here for the Sweet 16, and we're excited to support the team.
The band flew in Wednesday. While Coach Cal and the Cats take the practice floor, members of the band swarm to the College Basketball Experience and Hall of Fame next door to get some R&R in before the big game.
I mean, we had our day off and we knew it was in town. We were like, that'd be a fun thing to do for the start of the day. So
the College Basketball Experience is all about college basketball. As the band members hoop on this makeshift court, former Kentucky greats like the Brow Anthony Davis watch over these wannabe hoopers.
Just to learn more about college basketball, I'm a huge fan, and just to learn more about the history of college basketball is amazing. Yeah.
The College Basketball Experience is only half of the fun to be had here in KC. Nathan Ellis is a freshman and got to come to Kansas City. And while learning more about college basketball, he is also looking forward to eating some KC BBQ.
I was really excited, mostly with the barbecue, but it's close by, and I think all Kentucky fans will get in. So.
And as these Cats fans use up their energy today, they know they'll be needed tomorrow, hopefully cheering their Cats on to a victory.
Kentucky versus Houston, approximately 9:59 on TBS tomorrow night. Kentucky wins, they go to the Elite Eight. If Kentucky loses, they go home. Marcus will be back in sports. I'm going to hope that wraps up quickly so we can get a little bit of that KC barbecue. Steve, we'll send it back to you for now live in Kansas City. Will Puckett, Sports Director Marcus Browning, back to you.
Have some for me, too. Thank you, guys. And we are still in limbo, as they mentioned, on whether PJ will play tomorrow. And that's the topic of our latest live web poll. We want your opinion, and you guys are split too. Roughly 50% of you think he will play. The other half thinks he will sit out another game. And we probably won't find out until right before the game tomorrow. You can also watch Wildcat warm-up on our second channel, Heroes and Icons, tomorrow night at 6:30. Kentucky and Houston will tip off around 10 o'clock on TBS, the last game of the day. We hope to carry the post-game news conferences on a late edition of Sports Overtime sometime after midnight.
Well, the one thing I know about the upcoming days is there will be a lot of coffee drinking for people trying to stay up for that 10 o'clock tip. Of course, the big story right now is a lot of people trying to get outside. Notice right now outside the front porch, 71 degrees, and it is a beautiful sunny day here in Hazard, and it continues to be that way with cloud cover mainly to the north along Interstate 64, and all is calm here with temperatures, like we said, in the upper 60s to around 70 degrees, and they'll continue to drop as we head throughout tonight. Of course, you can download the WYMT weather app. It's free, and you can take it wherever you go. Notice temperatures, they're going to be dropping into the mid-50s by 2 a.m. and by 7 o'clock in the morning, we'll be at 50 degrees with some cloudy skies. So once again, the emoji cast, the forecast, everyone can understand. Scattered rain chances later, and then Saturday, Steve, showers and storms arrive. The sad face, hashtag annoyed, whatever you want to call it. Not a good weekend forecast and not a start that we want to see. Of course, we'll break down everything we need to know coming up in a few short minutes.
All right, thank you, Andrew. Today, we learned the trial date for a man accused of murder. James Ronnie McIntosh pleaded not guilty in circuit court this morning. A Perry County grand jury indicted him yesterday. Police say he shot Danny Mullins several times in late February. Defense attorneys asked the judge to lower McIntosh's bond, but the judge denied that request.
$250,000 cash is just a little bit more than Ronnie and his family can put up. Ronnie's not a flight risk. He's not going anywhere.
Yes, it is difficult. This is not like a robbery in that type of case or a home invasion. It's a love interest matter, and that makes these things particularly difficult.
If McIntosh is able to pay his bond, he cannot contact testifying witnesses in addition to being placed under house arrest. We reached out to Danny Mullins' family today. They did not want to talk right now. McIntosh's trial is set to begin on October 7th. It is a piece of history that's slowly been forgotten. A crash in Letcher County took the lives of 5 young men, 4 students, and 1 recent graduate of Letcher High School. It happened 53 years ago this month. WYMT's Connor James has more on how, after all these years, folks who were there on that devastating night are still remembering them.
It's the faces frozen in time that provoke the most painful memories. It's here along this bridge.
Let's say when.
Where Richard Smith recalls one of those memories.
But it was shock, I guess, if we ever had shock here.
No one is still quite sure how it exactly happened. A car filled with these 5 young men headed home from a movie.
And looked out and saw there was trouble down here and ran down here.
Richard was there for the rescue.
I wouldn't call it rescue. We retrieved the 5, yeah.
Of the 5, George Dixon.
Older brother, yes.
Danny Dixon was George's little brother.
I was hoping I could go to sleep and wake up and this would be a nightmare.
A night imprinted on Danny's mind.
You'll never forget that, no. You could hear people crying everywhere.
It was a moment in time where the whole town, the whole county was numb.
The trees, everything looked different. The community looked different. The people were different. There was a hurt. Everybody was hurt, and it just devastated.
But time usually has a way, though, of making these things easier.
But time has not hindered or erased the memories that I have. So what I'm telling you, I can see it in my mind as it was yesterday.
And that pain,
but the hurt,
has not stopped.
Yeah, I still cry sometimes.
But now,
it's a long time in the coming.
After years of work,
it's humbling to me.
This historic marker will serve as a reminder, a permanent statue recalling the history.
Every day I cross this bridge, every day that I cross it, every time I cross it, I remember that accident.
So that the names and the lives lost here do go on. In Letcher County, Connor James, WYMT Mountain News.
We have more information on Saturday's planned dedication ceremony on our website, WYMT.com. A man suspected of murder in Whitley County pleaded not guilty in federal court to drug charges. This is Daniel Nance. Police believe he shot his girlfriend, Jerry Johnson, earlier this month. She died at the hospital. Police have not charged him with her murder, but they will present the case to a grand jury. On top of murder, he could also face fetal homicide charges for the death of Johnson's baby, who doctors delivered, but the baby girl died days later. Next week, it looks like we will learn how long the trigger man in a Clay County murder case will spend behind bars. As of now, Roscoe Henson is scheduled for sentencing Monday. Investigators say he is the man who shot Trevor Dykes in 2015. He initially pleaded guilty last year. The details of that agreement were never released. Roscoe's brother Gilbert, Ashley Nicole Lawson, and Thomas Miracle also face charges. Police say Miracle hired Roscoe Henson to kill Dykes. The first daughter was back in Kentucky today. President Trump's daughter and advisor, Ivanka Trump, returned to the Bluegrass to tour the Toyota plant in Georgetown this morning. She visited the plant to learn about how Toyota is training its employees for the workforce. She made stops in eastern Kentucky last year. Time is running out for this year's legislative session. At midnight tonight, the 2019 General Assembly will come to an end. Lawmakers expect to work late into the night, wrapping up some final bills. Hillary Thornton is at the Capitol with a look at one of the final measures that could make it to the governor.
No school districts were closed today due to teachers being here in Frankfort, but there was still plenty of red here seen throughout the Capitol on this final day of the legislative session.
Rumors flow freely in this town, not always for unjust reasons, but we really try to be as open and transparent as possible.
Senator Chris McDaniel talking about the big crowd at a morning committee meeting to fix some things in a tax cleanup bill already passed and signed into law this session. Many concerned a late meeting like that could open the doors for some maneuvering by lawmakers. The bill they were talking about did stay as it was intended. Now, the House and Senate gavelled in around noon, the Senate bringing up House Bill 358. That is the bill that would allow some government organizations like health departments and regional universities to exit the state's pension system, giving them relief from the rising pension costs. Now, the House and Senate have differed some on various aspects of this bill. The proposed legislation now in the hands of a free conference committee tasked with hashing that all out.
Been a lot of work that's been going on. That bill has not come out in actual language form yet, so we're waiting on that. Kind of liking what I hear around the edges.
Governor Matt Bevin has said that he would support a bill that would allow this relief for these government agencies. For now at the state capitol, Hillary Thornton, WKYT.
If any bills pass today, Governor Bevin can decide to sign or veto them. If he does nothing, they become law after 10 days. A bizarre lawsuit out of Perry County. A worker at Hampton Inn & Suites in Hazard is accusing his boss of trying to force him to be spiritually cleansed. The lawsuit claims the manager pushed the employee to get cleansed after claiming his marriage was in trouble because of demons. The employee says after refusing, he was moved to a different shift and ultimately he quit. The lawsuit says the manager discriminated against him because he didn't share the same beliefs. Moments ago, we received a statement from Hampton Inn officials. It says, quote, "We intend to do a thorough investigation of the accusations made within the lawsuit. As a company, we oppose all types of discrimination and await our opportunity to discuss our side. At this time, we have no further comments." Officials with Appalachian Regional Healthcare say negotiators from ARH and the United Steelworkers Union have reached a tentative agreement. If the agreement is approved by union workers, it would be in place for the next 3 years. It would also end fears of a possible strike. We are told the tentative agreement will now be voted on by the nearly 2,200 ARH employees represented by the union. A vote is expected to take place by the end of the day Friday.
All this beautiful weather is coming to an end. The question is when, and when will it start to turn cooler? It's all going to be dependent on the rain chances. Your forecast in 4 minutes.
Plus, we'll show you how some kids are preparing for the future. That's just ahead.
When you see news happening, dial star 57 or text your news tip to 5757. Service is provided by Appalachian Wireless. Better service, bigger savings.
3 new Nissans, 2 powerful Titans, 1